Hi there, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots, and today we're making a standing sock gnome. You heard that right. He's got arms and legs at 15 inches tall. If you'd like to make him, boop, stick around. Please like this video so I know you're here crafting with me. Speaking of crafting, who needs to know? Have you joined the Facebook group? I'll put that link down below. We'd love to have you in there. Now, a lot of you have started to ask me to show you the back, so here you go. Here is the back and the front and the feet and the legs of this adorable guy. So to make him, I'm starting out with some beads. I used wooden beads, 1 inch and 3/4 inch for the hands. I'm going to use shoes. Now, if you don't have ornaments to use, you can use any of the shoes in my pattern. I'm going to be using the winter booties, which are free boots. I'm going to use a men's ankle sock and this funny wine bottle cover that I got at Bed Bath & Beyond last year. I'm going to use this material from my daughter's old jeans and fleece for the hat. I just want to make a note about dowels. So I do have a lot of people asking me about the dowels at Dollar Tree. They're 6 inches tall. I use a taller dowel because at a minimum I want a 9-inch cut. So there are 2 ways that you can make your sock gnome. Actually more than that, but you can use a cardboard method or a styrofoam ball method. For the cardboard, you're going to just create your bottom in a circle or oval, and you're actually going to put the dowels through the cardboard. You want a bit thicker than this, which is why I'm not doing that tutorial yet. It'll come soon, but I'm going to use a 3-inch styrofoam ball, and you'll get 2 standing gnomes out of this. So I'm going to cut them 9 inches tall, and watch out because they go flying across your craft room. You're going to need one of those mini ones for later. So we're just going to repeat that, and now you have 2 dowels, and we're going to sand one side, and we want a relatively smooth. Now I'm going to use these winter booties, which are meant for like a shelf sitter gnome, but I found these little pieces at Michael's, and I'm going to, instead of attaching a leg to this, I'm going to create a surface for the shoe, if you will, by stuffing one of these little guys inside. So these are about 2.5 to 3-inch pieces, depending on which ones you choose. I chose an oval, and I just stuck it in and glued it down to the side or to the bottom. Don't get any glue on the sides or the back. So here I am. I'm just going to roll down that top of it, glue the dowel, hold it there. Again, video lets me bypass this stuff, but you are going to want to hold it straight. Once it's straight, add some more hot glue, and then repeat for the second shoe. Careful not to get any of that glue on the sides or anywhere else. So then I'm just adding poly beads for weight, and then I'm going to stuff these little cuties all the way full with poly fill and put the dowel in the center like that. So after you've done the second one, we're actually going to make them dance, and then we're going to set them aside. I am using a 3-inch styrofoam ball here. It's a floral ball because that's all I had, and I'm in lockdown. I cut it in half with a metal ruler, and then I'm just going to glue it with the round side down to the center bottom of the sock. See that? And then before I pull it all the way up, I'm actually going to secure glue on either side so this stays in place. And then we're just going to make a regular sock gnome, so we add our weight. Again, I'm using poly beads, about a 1/2 cup, and I'm going to use polyfill. To determine the height, I just grabbed my little sweater to make sure I had enough body for pants and sweater. I'm going to tie off the top with a piece of twine. And then I'm just going to make some easy, quick pants using my daughter's leggings. I measured based on where it was on my body and my jeans, and once it was all squared off, I had a 9-inch piece of fabric in height. I hot glue seamed the end, and then I made a big seam on the vertical. Now I put the seam on the side so that I could cut 2 legs out of it. So you'll see here, and I cut about a 5-inch center. Turn it back around, and then I just hemmed those 2. Now one does look a lot bigger than the other because that's where our seam is, so don't worry about that. I know they look uneven, but they're not. Once they are secured and dry, you just turn them inside out, and then you have your little pants. Okay, so we're going to attach the gnome legs, and the easiest way I can tell you to do this is add some chalk to the top of your dowels, find where those legs need to be, and then snip the sock fabric and use the little extra piece from your dowel cutoff to make a 1-inch like a little pre-drilled hole into the styrofoam. I secured the top of my booties because I wasn't making them decorative, but You can make yours decorative. And then I just slipped on the pants and pulled them all the way down because I want to have enough room to see what I'm doing with the body. Speaking of the body, I added hot glue to the top, and I had to pick it up and drop it a lot just to make sure I had it in the right space. And when I did have it in the right place, I secured the feet together with hot glue and pulled up the pants. He's coming together, right? Okay, so I just slipped on the little sweater, and then you can see him here. He's sturdy. He's not yet done. I pulled back down the pants, made sure everything was in place, and then added a very generous portion of hot glue to those dowels underneath the sock. I cut off the tag and then pulled up and glued the jeans on. For the mustache, I wanted to see my Christmas sweater, so I cut a piece of wire and I cut a piece of fur the same length. I notched out one of the sides of the center and then added a generous portion of hot glue and that wire on top before squishing it together in a sandwich. Then I put it right on the sweater portion of my ugly sweater. And then I put a gnome nose that's a 1-inch ball right on top. And then for that, because it's posable, I just pointed it down and then you can see how easy it comes together. For a custom slouchy hat, I just measured the width. Mine turned out to be 14 inches. And then I wanted a slouchy hat, so again, I usually stop at 10. Once squared off, you can see what my measurements are there. I'm going to fold this so that the 14 inches is on the long side. I'm going to start 2 inches from the bottom, and then I'm going to cut it up into a triangle. Now, in order for my pom-pom to have a nice place to sit, I'm going to cut a 1.5 inch space at the top, so it's 3 inches across measured. And that way, once you flip it inside out, you have a nice big place for your pom-pom to adhere so it doesn't fall off and you don't have to sew it. So we're going to turn that inside out, test fit it onto our little cutie here. I'm going to bring mine down, so I just wanted to see how that works. And then I'm going to squish down the front of the hat on the nose and then tack down the back in the center. And I'm just going to secure down this hat in a couple of different places and definitely my squishy part on the side. And then here we are adding the pom-pom. You can add a bell. That would be cute too. Okay, so this one, its arm was a little long on one side, so I just hot glued it down and added my hands right inside here by adding a generous portion of hot glue to both. You can see. Hello. I was going to add those little Merry Christmas signs, but I got distracted. So I tacked down either side of the hat, and guess what? Look at him. He's done. Let me know in the comments, do you think you'd try this method for a standing sock gnome? As always, thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe to Ruffles and Rain Boots.